Been talking about some big changes in the shop, and this isn't what was in the box if you saw that video, but I did get a set of these. Now there's a couple ways to do these. You can get multiple units tied to one outside unit. You can get, you know, a single unit. And what I did is I got two 18,000 BTU systems. One I'm gonna put on this wall, the other I'm gonna put on the far side. So I'll have two in my shop. It was actually cheaper to buy two of these units than it is to buy a single multi-system outdoor unit and just add input, which you would think would be the opposite, but it didn't. Secondly, when I do this, if I have a problem with one unit, I think 18,000 most of the time will cool this area. You gotta finish some insulation, but most of the time, one of those units would probably cool this whole building. Only in the hottest will it really need both of them. Now, having two of them across from each other, that should keep a real nice, even temperature. And I'm gonna tell you, if you've ever seen me working in this shop, on this channel, you know I'm sweating like a hog. I kind of look like one anyway, but that's just the way it is. So I've put the first one in, and I'm gonna tell you, I learned a whole lot from it. I wanted to wait, make this video doing the second one. So everything I've learned on that first one, I'm gonna get ready to repeat, and this time do this one a little better. And I did learn some things doing that. So if you're interested in adding a mini split to your shop, garage, house, anywhere, watch this video. It's for you. We're going to the shop, guys. So if you're searching for this, you've probably seen these senville or these semi-do-it-yourself HVAC systems. This one's boxed pretty well, and I'm working just on the inside unit right now. And again, there's a couple things that I kind of determined when I was working on the other one. I wanted to make sure I corrected this time. And this inside unit is a big deal. Give me there. In your inside unit, you're going to have all your accessories. I'm going to pull this right off. So when you open this up, one thing you'll see is on the back side, right here, there's a single screw. That screw is not used again. This plate is what you're going to mount with. Your line sets over on this side. You want to take that screw out. We'll set it over there for use on another day. And that thing, there's actually two tabs on the bottom, here and here. You pull this thing down just a little bit, and then those tabs. So here's your plate. This is a 0. This is actually the center of this. If you want to center this machine, you're going to be biased just a little bit, one way or the other. So on this one, we're about 8.5 inches. On this one, we're right at 6 inches. See, it's 25 1/4, and the center of that's 12 3/4. So yeah, right there. So the truth is, when we put this on the wall, your line set's going to come out just like that. Your line set will come out right over here. So in order to center this up in the wall, you've got to move everything over to about this second hole. And then you've got enough slide in this. This has some slide and forgiveness. So if you'll center to this second hole, you got your mounting screws here, 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 here. Put those up, level this thing up. And then when you hang it, that'll be centered where you want it, or close thereabouts. And again, we're going to take and cut a hole. I think it's about a 2-inch hole I'll cut through. Go through this and the outer wall. You got a protector sleeve. I'll show you in just a minute. Now, one of the first things I learned as I was putting this on the wall, this just pops off. It just is when it's on the wall, this hangs like this. All right, so it's part of the way down. Well, all your wiring has to be done here. So if you're trying to do this, put a screwdriver in here, and this is constantly falling. You're having to try and hold it up or tape it up or do something to keep it out of your way. Absolute nightmare. So best thing you can think of is, first of all, lay this on the ground and figure out, okay, I want to go ahead and do my wiring now. When I get ready to mount this thing on the wall, my wiring on the inside unit is done. It should be done before I even get close to the wall. To finish that, I bring it over about where I'm going to mount it. I start that wire through the hole in the wall. When I get to a certain point, I'll wrap it together with my line set. Line set will go through the wall. Make sure the drain port's on the bottom. You want it at its lowest point. We can hang this thing on the wall, and basically inside is done. One other thing that does come with this unit is to make it Wi-Fi enabled or Alexa enabled. There's a little smart control kit. Just to let you know, right here is your USB. I don't know, everybody keeps telling me that it didn't match, so right here's my USB. Slide that USB stick in it. That should be ready to roll. So while the unit's on its side right here, you're going to want to take this plastic right there off. And you can see your screwdriver. Just pop that right up out of there. So there's your wiring that needs to be done. So this is constantly in your way. Again, if this thing's falling down like this the whole time, you're trying to hold it up and wire in here, it's an absolute pain. You'll see these are 1, 2, 3 and a ground. When you're right here, you got 1, 2, 3 and your ground. So real simple thing. You get what comes with this system and makes that possible is an accessory kit. So I'm not really sure what these ends are for, but I can tell you that there's absolutely nothing that I found that these worked for. So I ended up actually having to cut them off the last one. I'll look a little bit harder this time, but I know that this one has terminal ends that just did not work. Well, actually, yeah, this terminal ends would work where I used them on the outside unit. So this goes to your outside unit. This goes to your inside unit. What we're going to see is if these will slide up into the bitting, and of course this cable's way too long, so I'll end up cutting it off anyway. And we may put some more fork terminals on. So pull a couple of these off, and again you can kind of see the way these go. This one, there's 3 tabs. As you're pulling it off, you want to push down in this one. Then these 2 right here are just for alignment. This one that's no longer there, yeah, that was me pulling on it, forgetting. Down here you also have one, again 2 tabs here with a single clip at the bottom. You just kind of got to reach up in there, pull that out, and that'll expose this. That's where you can put your cord, your strain relief for this wire. And I'll go see if I can find one. So we've got it up through here. Guys, there's not much room. So when you start, so there's not much room. When you get it up in there, I went all the way to the outside edge and coming around. Hopefully there's not against anything that moves. I don't believe it is. But now we still have these. Now, right there is meant to hold this as well. Well, they've put it so close to the bottom, of course, what you're going to have to do is wire this up and loop it down and put it in there and leave the loops in the wire. Not my favorite way, but that's next, and I guarantee you that's a two-hand job. One gets held with a pair of needle nose and one gets screwed down job. It's definitely not a hand job in that thing. Forget I said that. Alright, so these things have a little tab on them, and that's going to keep it from going in. So I'm going to go ahead and bend those over to where they are flat. Same thing on that side. And again, now you see it becomes an edge. And yeah, that worked out pretty solidly well. Try and do this with one hand, but you'll see I'll loosen that up. Pretty loose. Try and get this so that it's flat when I go into the bottom here. And give it just a little upward bend. Now it's not going to go all the way to the bottom and go in. It's going to be right about in the middle. Once it is, slide it all the way up in there. I might have to redo that one. Yeah, I didn't get that one. I got to hold it up in there when it goes. So it's going to take a second hand. So that is now wired up. It should be able to just pop right back down into place. You have to deal with this or open this up again once I put it in. Now, go ahead and do this while we got it here. My smart control. Cover. And again, you're going to slide it right up in here. Let's see. Now, with USB, you've always got that one side. So you want the QR code down. Slides in, and there we are. Now this unit's ready to hang. All I got to do, go put the mounting hardware up, drill my hole for the line set, and then hang it on the wall. And then we're ready to start doing the outside unit. Alright, so putting this up on the wall right now. See, I went ahead and put one screw in. I'm actually going to be 3.5, 4.5 down from this. I'm at about 7 inches from here to where my ceiling will end. You want about a 6-inch gap. So I'm going to be a little bit wide there. A little too wide is fine. Now, let's get this thing level. That looks pretty good. This thing comes with these screws. It also comes with drywall anchors. Personally, I don't like this drywall anchor. They're cheap garbage as far as I'm concerned. So if I were you, buy a better drywall anchor. Alright. Can, great. If you can't, well. Now I am to a point where I can hang that thing. I still need a hole over here. Now, I'll tell you, basically you want to be just a little bit above your mount here and about 2.5 inches out here. So without marking this, you're going to be somewhere like right in there. So a little higher than your mount and just a little further out. Now, that's my guess. I'm going to go take a quick measurement, verify that, and then we can drill it. We mount it on the wall, just like that. Here's my center. center right here. I want it to be lined up with the middle here. So we're right at 5 inches from the center. So 5 inches over and about ½ inch above this. If anything, you want to pull these down a little bit so your drain drops. You don't want to be too high, so the closer you can get to that end along the bottom, the better off you're going to be. So let's say 5 inches, right, from the center of that tab to the hole. And again, this thing has some side-to-side movement, so even if I miss it, I'm still good. And my hole right there, oh, look at that. I'm about 4.5, so I'm a little tight. That's okay. I'd rather be a little tight. I need that out of there, huh? So the one great thing about these is you do have a solid something. Now, again, as I go through, I'd rather this be angled down a little bit. Going through the siding, I spun that backwards. Once you start going through the siding, I think you'll understand. Kind of burns through it, but that's it. Let's go ahead, straighten out that line set, and get this inside joint unit hung. So what I'm talking about with the inside unit, let's put these clips back on. As this line set now has to actually spin 90 degrees, so it'll stick straight out. And then my cord and my line set will all go out together. All right, there's that. Let's put this back on. There you go. And right here, again, slaps into place. Snaps into place there. And then we'll take this line set and gently curl it out. Put this down. Very careful. Now, I want your drain line to be at the bottom. Preferably, your electric's at the top. Take it out through here. Do it just like this. Quick round out tape. There and there. Kind of put us where we want us to be. And it's as simple as put the cord through, and then hang this thing on the wall. You hang it on the wall. Get these two right here, and then this will pop into place. I'm gonna get my electric. Started out that hole. Alright, well, I'll balance this on my head and this on through there. everything goes there. And I'm going to wipe that down, but now we don't have to come back to the indoor unit. You know, it's time to turn this thing on and run it. All right, making it to the outside unit. I've got this pad, which in all honesty was actually meant for a larger outdoor unit. I cut the thing in half so both of these fit perfectly on them. I'm going to go with it. That's what I had in. What I had in house, you know what I mean? So now I need to drill a hole, and I'm going to drill it and I'm going to put one of these bushings in it. What the hell? Go through this one more time because I think I just missed it all. Simple HVAC disconnect, not fused. If you want to buy fused, fine, go for it. Not I. And I'm going to take it right there. I'll put that, line that up. And there we go. I'll put a label on it just to make sure. That's kind of what I expected. So these lower ones don't really anything to hold. They're just kind of there. So I have my 12-2 wire will come in right here. Here, I'll knock this hole out, come right down to my outside unit that'll sit on that pad. Then we'll put our sleeve in the wall, put our clay or silicone, whatever I decide, and bend those down. They'll come down the wall, over, and into the outside unit. It really is kind of as simple as that. I'm waiting on one connector to be able to pull a vacuum to start these things up. So here I am. All right, getting the outside unit ready. Take these 3 straps loose, and then this box will lift up off of it. Your warranty certificate. And there is the outside unit. Now, this comes with these rubber pads, and what I did with the last one, I basically put these rubber pads in it and put a screw through it just so I hold them there and kind of set underneath the unit. I've got a little more leveling to do with that out there, but I'm not spending a whole lot of time doing it right now. Went ahead and flared these ends. Again, you can see it, just your basic. And I'm gonna move them around. I was lucky enough that I don't have to even hook up the other line set, so I have a complete line set sitting there. If something were to happen, hopefully not, but no reason to open it, no even unroll it. It's completely sealed, so we're good to go there. I'm gonna finish this line set up, get everything ready for vacuum, and hopefully tomorrow my other fitting comes in. I'll show you guys that because that's real important. I'm gonna finish wiring this thing up, wrap the outside unit, finish caulking it in, and we'll call it a night. Alright, so it's all wired up. You can see there's my line, there's my load. This will drop back into place. Right there, clicks in. And then I've got this on or off. And that slides into it just like so. Right now it's off. That's all hooked up. Still have to get a couple minis or something to attach it to the wall. Same way on the other side. Got these wires to hook up, and basically I'm waiting on an adapter to hook up my vacuum pump and get this thing pulled down and ready to dump the Freon and start it up. Holding that vacuum and releasing the Freon, of course, has to be done by a professional in order for your warranty to work with the senville. So of course I did not do that. I had a professional come in and vacuum it. However, if I were going to, I'll go ahead and show you this, I would use a set of gauges like this. I would use this yellow hose in the center. I would take it off the manifold right here and place it right there on a vacuum pump. Then, while these gauges or these valves on the side are completely shut, I would take this blue hose and connect to the lower side. You have to take that cover off to get to it. There's a fitting right here. There's a fitting right here that you could take loose and then tighten that blue hose right onto it. Alright, then I would, at that point, I would start my vacuum pump, open up the blue gauge, and watch to make sure that I am pulling vacuum on these lines. You would see the gauge right there in the green. It would start to pull down into the green slowly. Now, what I would do, of course I did not do it, but I would start that vacuum and I would walk away from it and let it sit there and run for, I don't know, at least 30-45 minutes. You know, you're not going to overrun or over vacuum that system, so let it run for quite some time. When you come back to it, shut that blue valve off, turn off your vacuum pump, and walk away again for another hour, 2 hours, whatever. Come back and look at the gauge and make sure that you did not lose any vacuum. If you didn't, your line set should be good. You should be ready to roll, and you'll be able to, at that point, open up your valves on your high and low side. Once they're completely open, you'll be able to take your line set of your blue hose off. Take all your hose gauges, put it all back up. You're ready to fire up your air conditioner, heat pump, whatever it is. And then you can have a nice cool shop like what I have right now, and you can hopefully work in the summer, because I am too old to sweat my ass off anymore.